Hello there guys, and welcome to another Rust update with myself, Foorun. Now today we're going to be taking a look at what's coming in the update on Thursday the 2nd of June. Now this is going to be tomorrow. I'm filming this on the Wednesday because I am unable to make a video tomorrow, so there may still be a lot of stuff changing between now and the update, so make sure you keep an eye over on Rustified or the Rust Updates Twitter, or just check the dev blog itself when it comes out. I'm sure that there will be extra little things that we haven't even picked up on. So I will start off by saying that we do have nice new weapon mods. I will show you them later on in the video. Everything else that I'm going to talk about pretty much feeds into itself, so I'm going to leave the weapon mods till last. Biggest change that probably a lot of you have seen all over the place is about the foundation placement. So as you can see here, I am on the staging branch, so I am testing out the new updates, and you can still pretty much overlap the foundations. You will take a look over here, and you can still double wall. You can still do everything that you previously could. Now the way that they have changed the foundations is that each one has an ID. So because this over here was all built off, and all this was built off of the same ID from the original foundation, you can still proceed to build the way you previously would, as long as it all came from one original foundation. You will be able to change levels on these foundations. This foundation on the ground here will have the same ID as the foundation. It's slightly higher up because we have bridged them with the foundation steps, so you will still be able to do pretty much everything that you previously could. Now for people that are wondering what the actual distance is between the foundations, this is it here. This between these two foundations that are floating off to the side, that is the rough distance, which 2 world units classifies as. Is basically 2 meters within Rust. One foundation is roughly 5 by 5 meters within the world of Rust. I know it's not exactly the same as it would be in real life. Let's just keep it to how it is in game. 5 by 5 meters roughly for a foundation, and that's what a world unit is. So that is roughly 2 world units between these 2 foundations, the ones that are floating off on the side. So with that out of the way, you will still be able to do your double walled bases. You will be able to still do all of these nice little tricky things that everybody does do with their building. So going away from that, this is going to make it a lot harder for people to build in caves, where people like to double up with their foundations and make 3 different tiers of foundations within their buildings. It's not going to be able to do that anymore, because it's going to get a lot harder. It's going to when you try to put a foundation with a closer distance than that, which most cave bases will have a design that formulates of a couple of foundation sets being really close. You're not going to be able to get that anymore. So cave bases are going to take a bit of a hit, but double walled bases will still be around, so you still have that option. Now I'm going over onto caves. The topology of caves has been tweaked a little bit, so you will notice a couple of little differences with the caves, and that is also the same with the airfield monument. So there are going to be a couple of little tweaks. Generally you're not going to notice anything too much, I wouldn't have thought, but it's just nice to let you guys know that it is there. On the subject of monuments, we should be a little bit more thick. There should be a few more around, especially on smaller maps. I wouldn't have thought on the larger maps. I don't think we'll get doubled up monuments, but we should have closer to a full array of monuments, especially on smaller maps, so you will notice that you can get a bit more loot. While we are on the subject of caves, there is now a change in the minimum distance between caves, so this will mean that we will see more caves closer together. This hopefully is not 100%. I couldn't get all the information that I wanted when I was digging around for it, but hopefully this will also mean that we will have more caves per map. Hopefully that is the way. It seems like it's going to be that way to me, so hopefully that does come out and we do get more caves per map, because that will be pretty good, especially if we're squeezing them in a little bit more and it's a bit harder to build in there. Get a couple more on there. Even if they're not as secure, they'll probably be more secure than some other things, and we'll be able to have a couple, especially if they're in closer clusters. If you can get 2 or 3 in the same area, that'll be great. So there is that. And then going on from monuments, the minimum distance between which a monument and power lines link together, that distance has been increased. So if you're following power lines, it may not always take you directly to the edge of the monument anymore. You may have to wander on your own for a little while to find that monument. They've got a couple of nice things as well coming this update for server owners now. If they've set up a server restart, which you can now set up through a console command, so that it happens in X amount of time, with default being 5 minutes, you can actually now stop that. So it's one thing to take note of. If you're playing on a server and you get a announcement come up saying that the server is going to be restarting in 5 minutes, it could always not happen. They can actually go back on that now, so I wouldn't be so hesitant to log off as soon as you see that information come up, because they may cancel it. Also for server owners, you will now be able to see in your logs when you go into your console, if you get up your logs through that way, the suicides will not be linked in with the kills anymore. They are now in their own separate column. Now the one last thing before we move on over to the weapons and all the fun stuff that you guys really want to see. We had some curious stuff added this week in the form of bird poop. Now we've had some code and balance added, which is slightly odd, but basically there are now sounds for bird poop, and there is some stuff regarding the monument textures and stuff to do with bird poop. Now I've not seen anything of this yet, because the monument stuff hasn't actually been added into the build yet, so we can't actually take a look at that, but it is added. It's going to be there. It's going to be very interesting to see what is actually going on with this when the actual update hits, or when it gets merged in some point tomorrow. That is a lie. We do have one more thing. A lot of work has gone into the monuments over the past 4 weeks. Now that is all going to be added tomorrow. As it is the first update of the month, there will be a forced wipe on all servers. That is going to be a map wipe. It's not necessarily going to force blueprints unless the server admin does do it himself. So we are going to get a lot of nice new looking things. I have had to take a little look at some of them over on the Rustified website, because they have managed to get a few screenshots and they do look absolutely great. So I'd say go over there and have a little look if you do want to take a look at those things. If not, just hold out until the wipe tomorrow and go and take a look for yourself. Some of it looks absolutely fantastic. The water tower looks absolutely phenomenal. When I seen it, I actually thought it was like a concept art. I didn't actually think it was a picture taken from in-game. So now then, let's move over to our weapon mods. So if I quickly open up my inventory here, a lot of weapon mods have had their costs halved or more. So we now have the silencer now costs 12 high quality metal. The laser sight now costs 8 high quality metal. The flashlight costs 3 high quality metal. And then we've got ourselves a new muzzle brake, which lowers recoil felt by the operator but can make bullet path more unpredictable. This costs 8 high quality metal, and this one basically, when you're firing with it on your weapon, you could sometimes have a bullet go off completely stray in a direction in which you were not aiming. So this can possibly make firefights a hell of a lot more unpredictable, but we'll see how it works out when people actually start getting in there and using it. And then we have the muzzle boost, which increases weapon fire rate by channeling gases back into the weapon, cycling it faster at the cost of bullet velocity and accuracy. So basically this is going to give you a bit more recoil. You're not going to be quite as accurate, and your bullets aren't going to go quite as far, but you're going to fire a hell of a lot faster. So this is going to go fantastic on a custom SMG or a Thompson, something you're going to be using at close range, so that you can get a lot of quick bullets off, and you can sacrifice that accuracy a little bit, especially if you like hip firing, because it's not overly accurate as it is, and you're just aiming roughly in the middle of your screen, so it's not so bad. And that one will cost you 10 high quality metal. Now that is pretty much it then, guys, for today, for everything that's been announced so far, and that is big and notable of you wanting to hear about it. So like I said at the start of the video, if you want to take a look and see if anything else has been added, then go and take a look at Rust updates over on Twitter, or go and check out Rustified, or have a look over on the Rust Reddit. Those are your best places to look for information, especially when it comes to updates and Rust and all of that good stuff. So that is it from me then today, guys. I hope that the wipe goes seamlessly for you all. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.